Hi Yogi and happy 2025. This practice is a simple morning yoga practice for your new 2025 routine, or maybe it's not a new routine, maybe you've always been doing yoga in the mornings. So whether it's new to you or whether you're just looking for a gentle start to the day, this is the right practice for you. All you need is your yoga mat, so get set up and we'll start in a low kneeling position. If it's okay for you to tuck your toes, I like to do this to just get a cheeky, sneaky little foot stretch in while I ground it into the practice. If it's too much, just untuck your toes again, that's okay. And now just start to find your breath. Arrive into your practice, arrive into this new day. And now just gently start to roll your head around. Notice any sensation in the neck. And then draw your head tall. And if your toes are not tucked under, tuck them under now. Squeeze your shoulder blades together as you open up the chest. And then as you exhale, bow forward over the legs, keeping that lift in the arms to stretch out your shoulders. Inhale, open it up. Once again, lift the heart. Exhale, bow forward. A couple more. Warming up that spine. Exhale, bow forward. And again, inhale, open up. And exhale, bow down this time. Bring the top of your head to the mat into this hair pose variation. Stretch out your shoulders, let your knuckles drop overhead behind you. Take a full breath. Notice how the breath feels different in this position. And then untuck your toes, sink down into child's pose, release the arms by your sides. Take a couple of really deep breaths into the belly. And then reach your left arm forward. Take your knees nice and wide and make some space underneath that left shoulder to thread your right arm into the space under that left armpit for thread the needle, but we're down in a child's pose. So you might notice it just feels a little different here. Taking a couple of really deep breaths. And then you can switch, bring your right arm ahead of you, bring your left arm underneath that right shoulder, bring the left side of your head down. Breathe more space into your upper back. And then with an exhale, unwind, and you can rise up to your tabletop position. Tuck the toes under here and sweetly, gently come back into downward facing dog. Keeping as much of a bend in the knees as you need today. Maybe this is your first practice since the new year, so just be so gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to ease back in, or maybe to ease in if you are a beginner. Just walking out this downward dog, and then find a little bit of stillness. Walk your feet back slightly more and closer together. As you inhale now, roll forward to a high plank. Spine waves, then lift the tailbone, send it back, downward dog. And a couple more. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, lift the hips, ripple that spine back. And again, roll forward. Exhale, bring it back. And then lift your right leg high. Bring it forward. Step it to meet the hands. Give it that extra boost with your hand if it needs. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to a high plank. And then either bringing your knees down or staying on the toes if you're feeling strong. Lower gently to the floor. Inhale, open up your chest for a cobra pose. Create space in the heart. And then bow your head down, push into the hands, rise back up to downward dog. Inhale. Exhale. As you breathe in, step your left foot forward. Bring your right knee down. Find your low lunge. Inhale. Exhale. And once again, plant the hands, step back to plank. Bring the knees down or stay on the toes to lower all the way to the mat. This time, tent your fingers either side of your shoulders to lift up into a wider cobra position. Some call this intimidation cobra. So really lift your chest. Feel like there was a string pulling your heart forwards towards the space in front of you. Now drop your right shoulder down, look over to your left side and come back to center. Drop your left shoulder down, look over to your right side. And swivel a few times, keeping as low to the ground or lifting as high as feels good on your body. Try not to crunch into your lower back, but just really find that opening across the chest. One more each way. Good, and then wiggle your hands underneath your shoulders again. Push all the way back to downward dog. Now as you inhale, lift your right leg, draw it forward, step it between the hands and bring your left knee down. This time find a little bit more strength in the thighs and find your balance to rise up to a lifted variation of the lunge. Opening up your chest, pulling your lower belly in. Feel that stretch and that strength. Good, and now with an exhale, lower the hands. Once again, finding that flow. Step back to plank, lower all the way with control to the floor. And inhale, open up cobra. Exhale, push back onto the toes for downward dog. Inhale now, lift your left leg up. Exhale, draw it forward, step it between the hands and bring your right knee down. Gaze ahead of you, find your balance and lift up into Anjaneyasana, the lifted low lunge. Keep your lower ribs in as you find more space in your chest. And then plant the hands. Once again, step back to plank. You've got the option here to lower onto your belly and do cobra, or maybe you'd like to find more strength for a half push-up and come into upward facing dog on the tops of the feet. Take the option that works best for you and then smoothly slide back into downward dog. From here, step your right foot forward once again, but then turn onto the back heel. So turn your left toes up to the sky for Skandasana. If your right heel is not on the mat, that's okay. Use your hands to support you. If it is, then really try to grow tall through your spine. And then either using your hands or maybe finding a little bit more strength to come over to the other side. Left knee bends, right leg extends with the toes turning up. From here, lift all the way into the center for a wide-legged forward fold and bow between the legs. Find a few deep breaths here. Maybe it feels good to you to sway the body side to side. Maybe you prefer to be still. Then bring your fingertips down, heel toe your feet towards each other, but not too close together, and sit down into a yogi squat. So send your knees out in line with the toes. Find a little bit of movement side to side in this squat, opening up the hips, opening up the chest. And then from your squat, turn towards the top edge of the mat. Take your hands behind you with the fingers facing out or back, whichever feels more comfortable. And we'll push up into a reverse tabletop or a tabletop position. So lift your hips high, squeeze the glutes under. Maybe you drop your head back or you keep the chin tucked. See what feels best for you. Really squeeze the glutes upwards, and then bring your bottom to sitting on the mat and give your knees a hug, tuck your chin. Good, and then from there, you can just take a cross-legged position and either pause the video and take Shavasana, or if you're short on time, just find a moment of stillness in this seated position. Notice any change in the way you feel. Feel the benefit of bringing yoga into your routine. And now I invite you to join me, bringing your hands together in heart center. Bow the head and thank yourself for practicing today. Thank yourself for instilling this beautiful habit that is truly life-changing into your day or into your life. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this practice and you are feeling refreshed and ready for whatever life throws at you today. I am wishing you a very happy 2025, and I will see you very soon.